Alright everyone, today I wanted to go over a very highly requested topic, and that is how to get more of the tier 2 Guardian Stones, because you're going to need so many of these in order to get to tier 3, and you're definitely not going to feel like you have enough of them after you've done all of your tier 2 islands. So I wanted to go over a list of other ways that you can end up getting these Guardian Stones, because each tier of gear is going to have its own bottlenecks. Those are going to be the things that we feel like we never have enough of compared to everything else where you feel like you have enough of it. In tier 1, that was primarily your Harmony Shards, and in tier 2, it's going to be your Leap Stones, but also your Guardian Stones. You're always going to feel like you need more of these, and even when you finish your tier 2 islands, you're still going to feel like you need more of these. So let's go over a list of other ways that you can get a bunch of Guardian Stones, and that's actually why I'm out here on my boat. This is going to be a super easy, super nice way to get a whole bunch of these, and also if you have any alts that are in tier 2 as well, once they actually get to item level 802, they'll also be able to end up getting these, and that is going to be from your pirate coin vendor. So outside of any dock and any of the major continents, you have this vendor right here, the T in Libra guild vessel. And if you go to the exchange, you can see that you can end up buying your tier 1, your tier 3, but of course the one that we're talking about in this video, your tier 2 Guardian Stones. And you could end up getting a total of 900 of these for every character that is in tier 2. So again, if you have any alts that are in tier 2, you can end up using your pirate coins on your alt characters as well. And the great thing is these are tradable. So you can end up using your roster storage to end up moving these from one character to another. And they're pretty affordable. Like, it's a pretty good amount of pirate coins. I think it's a pretty decent value. What I would stay away from, though, of course, is going to be the weapon stones, because you can see with the Guardian Stones, it's 50 pirate coins for a lot of 10 of these, whereas the weapon stones, it's 5 times the price. It's 250 for a lot of 10. But the Guardian Stones, definitely worth it. Definitely a great way to get almost 1,000 of those per week for every character that you have of yours that is in tier 2, and another incentive to actually work on your alts so that you can end up buying more of these each week as well. So that's going to be one source right there. Now let's actually head back to town here so that we can go over some other methods as well. And I'm actually going to head to another vendor here. Let's actually go to the guild vendor, because it's not going to be nearly as many as you can end up getting from the pirate coin vendor, but you can end up getting a decent chunk of additional Guardian Stones from your guild vendor as well, with those bloodstones that you get by helping out your guild and checking in. And depending on the guild that you're in, and if you have an active guild leader who's working on leveling up your guild, as your guild shop level increases as well, you'll be able to actually end up buying more of these from your guild. So if we actually go to, in Vern, the guild vendor is going to be right up there, right by, pretty close to like where your Chaos Dungeon entrance is and your Abyss Dungeon and all that sort of stuff. And I'll just show you guys where it's actually located at the guild vendor. There's going to be a lot of other really useful stuff that you can buy here as well. But the Guardian Stones are a pretty good deal. And just like the pirate vendor, the destruction stones are not nearly as good of a value, so I would probably stay away from those. But the Guardian ones are pretty good. So you can see here that it's going to be right here. I already actually bought them on this character. There's a weekly limit of 5, and it's bundles of 20 each, so you can get 100. But if your guild has been leveling up, and if you're in an active guild, as they unlock more of these items that you can buy by leveling up your guild shop, you'll actually be able to, at a guild shop level of 2, you can buy another 10 lots of these, so another 200. So there's 100, and then there's another 200, which could bring you up to 300. And then if your guild gets to a really high level, if you get up to level 4, you'll be able to buy another 14 sets of 20. So that's another 280 of those. So the amount of these is going to depend on the guild that you're in, how active they are, and if your guild master is leveling up your guild shop. But another decent source of these, and just like before, these are tradable. So if you have any alts that are in guilds that are also in tier 2, you do need an item level of 802 to be able to start buying these. But once again, you can end up using the roster storage to move these over from your alts to your main character. So that's the second method. And now I want to go over the final vendor here that has a good amount of these to be able to purchase. Then I'm going to talk about some other sources where you can end up getting these Guardian Stones. And this is going to be your Infinite Chaos vendor. This is after you've done your 2 daily Ore of Resonance runs of your Chaos Dungeon. You will have the ability to keep going back and running your Chaos Dungeons and getting those shards. But it's not going to be the same loot as your regular 2 runs. And when you end up getting that currency, it's going to be these thingies right here. Like these Guardian Shards, this is the Tier 2 one. These Perception ones are for Tier 1, and then these Purification Shards, these are for Tier 3. These are the resources you get from running after your 2 daily Chaos Dungeons, and you can spend them at this vendor right here. A lot of really, really useful stuff, but there is a whole bunch of these Guardian Shards that you can end up buying. And at a price of just 15 Guardian Shards for a lot of 10, if you want to buy out the entire Infinite Chaos vendor of Tier 2 materials, it's going to take just a little over 1,000 of these. That's like maybe 6, 7, 8 Chaos Dungeon runs past your 2 daily ones, so probably only going to take you like 15, 20 minutes to end up getting another 750 of these. Definitely make sure that as you're progressing and going from Tier 2 to Tier 3, you put this on your list of things to buy out and do each week, because it's not going to take you very long, and 750 Guardian Stones is going to come in really, really handy. Now, unlike the vendors that I've actually talked about up until now in this video, these ones are bound. So if you end up doing this on an alt character and you buy these Guardian Shards, you cannot use the roster storage to move these over. You want to make sure to buy these on the character that you're using them on. Now, you can move over these Guardian Shards, like these are bound, so you can use a different character to actually farm your Chaos Dungeons, and then you can move your Guardian Shards over in your roster storage, just like this right here. And I'll just show you guys so you can see. So you can use your roster storage to move these thingies over, but you cannot move over the actual shards that you buy from the shop. So make sure that when you are getting ready to actually buy those Guardian Stones, you buy them on the character that you're actually going to use them on. So those are the 3 vendors that I wanted to talk about where you can end up getting more of the Guardian Stones. Let's talk about some other stuff that you can do as well. Now, a very big one is your welcome challenges. And this is going to come in handy while you're working on your Tier 2 islands, but also very specifically from your Abyss dungeons. And there is a very good chunk of Guardian Stones and Destruction Stones that you can actually end up getting from your Abyss dungeons, and they're going to come in through these Welcome Challenge rewards. So if you actually go to like Abyss, to the Gear Upgrade tab, and you go to the Welcome Challenge, you'll actually see that your first time clear of these Abyss dungeons is actually going to give you a bunch of Tier 2 resources. Destruction Stones, Guardian Stones, these Kaldar Fusions as well. You can only actually get these one time, but for clearing like your Arc of Arrogance, and for clearing, this is for Tier 1. There's also another one. I actually didn't do some of the Tier 2 dungeons, so I know there's one here that I actually still could end up getting here. It's this one right here. Like your Gate of Paradise, that's another 1,500 Guardian Stones, another 500 Destruction Stones, and another 60 of these Fusion Materials. Make sure, if you're still in Tier 2 progressing to Tier 3, that you go through and you do your Abyss Dungeons at least one time for the Welcome Challenge rewards. So that's going to be another source right there. And also, make sure that you guys do in your collectibles, if you go to Fomona Island, this is your the island that you can do twice. I already have a video talking about this, but completing this in your welcome challenges is also going to end up giving you another 500 Destruction Stones and another 1,500 Guardian Stones. So lots of really good, useful stuff for your account progression in your welcome challenges. Don't forget about it. It's really easy to miss out on a lot of this, and even I have missed out on a lot of this myself. So keep an eye on this and make sure to get those one-time rewards. And claim them on the character that you're going to use them on too. Very importantly, because again, these are not tradable. They're not roster bound. They're bound to the character that you pick them up on. So when you actually do finish these welcome challenges, make sure that you actually claim them on the character that you want to use these resources on. So that's another one right there. Now, the next one that I want to talk about is Guardian Raids, and specifically doing your Guardian Raids for the first time and getting your first time completion rewards is actually going to give you a decent chunk of the resources, those Guardian Stones for Tier 2. So farming them and actually like repeating it is primarily going to be good for your Leap Stones, but just doing these Guardians for the very first time is going to give you a cache of goodies that has jewelry and other stuff, but it's also going to come with a good chunk of Guardian and Destruction Stones for the very first time. So make sure that you go through and you at least try to clear the Tier 2 bosses at least once, so that not only do you get the Leap Stones, but you get those one-time clear rewards, which have a good amount of Guardian Stones in them. So that's another really big one right there. And then the last thing that I want to talk about in this video specifically, and there's plenty of other ways that you can get Guardian Stones. Obviously, you can buy them on the market as well. You can get them in the Mario shop, but I wanted to stay away from like spending gold and resources and getting them through other methods. But another thing that I will mention is your field bosses. Field bosses actually do indeed give a decent amount of resources, and if you actually go to the calendar and you go to field bosses, you can take a look and see. If you hover over and you click on the actual boss that you plan on going to, you can see what the recommended item level is in order to actually go to these bosses. But importantly as well, you can see what the expected rewards are. So you can see that this one actually does have the possibility to give you Guardian Stones and Destruction Stones, as well as other really useful stuff. So make sure to get in the habit of doing your one daily field boss. You can only do one each day. So pick the one that, if it's not even Guardian Stones, pick the one that you feel like you need the most for whatever it is that you're looking for on your account, and make sure that you plan to go to it so that you can get those rewards as well. So anyway, this is just another list of things that I wanted to put out there, because a lot of people, I feel like, are in that tier 2 massive slog from like 1,000 to 1,100, and I wanted to put out another way that you can end up getting Guardian Stones, given that these are one of the most limited materials that you're going to constantly feel like you need more of when it comes from going from tier 2 to tier 3. So that's going to be about it for this video. I hope that you guys enjoyed. If you did, consider leaving a quick like, consider subscribing to the channel for more videos like this in the future. And feel free to check out the Twitch stream, twitch.tv/salt, where I'll be streaming Lost Ark as well as other games. Thanks again, everyone. Take care, and until next time.